Your style and your flavor make the city rock. They must say the season come out with a bang. Coach Minzy, best round here. Remember that.
Welcome everyone to the coach's desk. Trusting that everybody is doing well and everybody is doing all right. So we want to do a quick show on the Briana Williams situation. You know what I mean? Yes, we want to have a quick chat on the matter where Briana is concerned. But first of all, people, like the stream. Like the stream, people. Like the stream. Like the stream. Give it a thumbs up. Big up to the persons on Facebook. Yeah, man, big up yourself. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the people over there on Coach's Desk Sports JA. Yeah, man. Thanks for tuning in. All right. So, Brain Drain is in the chat already. Otto was on this show, so I will be less critical. Michael Gordon, big up yourself. We're supposed to have a guest joining us. Yes, we're supposed to have a guest joining us. So hopefully, excuse me, the guest will join us. He had limited time where that is concerned. But you know, of course, tongues are wagging right across the length and breadth of the track and field. You know, arena. A lot of persons are saying a lot of things. Persons are giving their opinion, their reflection, and all manner of things. You know what I mean? So we just want to delve into the conversation and see where we can go from here. You know, a lot of persons have been saying, yay. A lot of persons have been clapping. Persons might be saying, it's been a long time coming. You know what I mean? Persons are saying a little too late. Some people are saying too early. She should have stuck around another year. But it is what it is at the very moment. So, people, welcome to the persons on Facebook. Welcome to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Just please remember to give the video a like, dear people. Drop a thumbs up on the video. And we have our guest here real quick. Our resident analyst, if I may say. Leighton Levy. Welcome, Sir Levy.
How you doing? Long time.
Yes, man. I'm good. How are you?
Busy as usual, but give thanks to life and everything. So I'm good.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that you can take the time out of your busy schedule to let us, talk about this a little bit, dissect it and see where will it be going. So the question is, Sir Levy, what are your thoughts on this big, brave move by Briana?
On the face of it, it's a good move, and I'll tell you why. I mean, as you know, I've been in defense of Otto and Briana for a long time, and my opinion has not changed. However, there are times you all know. I mean, there are times when you're in an environment or a circumstance where you get too comfortable and you lose that drive and you get complacent and you get to the point where you're not as driven as you were before because you're used to the environment. The environment doesn't challenge you anymore. I think that's probably where Briana got to with Otto, and similarly, and vice versa, where when you go to a new environment, for example, or somebody has been working with it for a long time, it gets to a point where when a person says X, you kind of go X minus one. I mean, you're not fully 100% there anymore because you know that whatever consequences are, you will be prepared to deal with that coming from that particular person. I think Otto and Brian still have a really great relationship as coach, as mentor, everything. But I think one of the constants about life is change, and there are times when change is necessary to bring a new dynamic to the environment and allow you to then challenge yourself and move to a new level. I think that's where this situation is. We're in Brianna, by her own words, she got comfortable. You
Mm-hmm.
know, she's been working with Otto for 10 years. Um, and as a result, she probably wasn't as driven or as challenged as she was earlier in her career. Because remember, over the 10 years, he took her from he took her to the world, the 15-year-old age group record 11-1-3. Then he
Yes.
took her down to 1097 and then 1094. She won under his watch. She won 6 character titles, Austin City Awards back to back. Just to put that in context, Usain Bolt was the last Jamaican to do that. So if she's in a pantheon of a few there. Um, she won the world under 20 title in 100 and 200 at 16. People forget these things, that when somebody was talking about Tonisha Terry to me today.
Yeah.
Tonisha Terry is 2 years older than Brianna,
And she
right? So
was whopping her.
yeah, and Brianna, and she was at 1095 athlete, and Brianna beat her in the final in Tampere, and then won the 200 in a new national record at 2250, breaking Vernon Campbell's record. Um, you know, so what, and of course the Olympic gold medal as part of the 4x1 relay. So a lot of people are critical of Otto, but she has improved every single year under him. And the reality is that a lot of people, as I said before, that we're a lot of wagonists in this country, and we don't understand the sport in which we
Say
claim
that
we love.
again. Say that again.
We're wagonists, and I say it without apology because if you're a true fan, you take time to understand the sport and understand how things happen. Brianna just turned 20 in March, and I keep saying it. All the people who doubted Brianna's progress, go and tell me when Shelly really ran fast for the first time. When not Sharika, Elaine ran fast for the first time. I mean, when Sharon ran fast for the third time, check the ages that they were and compare them to where Brianna is now. And you will see what I'm talking about. I hear people talking about she's not progressing fast enough. She's 20 years old. um, People expect her for running. I mean, yeah, she was capable of running 10 years this year. We get that. But, by her own admission, she was not in the best place to run that time this year, which she could have. The thing is, though, that having moved to a new camp, she's the only female in that camp, in a camp where there are two coaches working with her in Little Gregory Little, who's going to make her stronger than she's ever been before, and Michael Frater, who's going to help her with those different phases of the race because of, first of all, his experience and what we've seen him do with Akeem Blake, and of course Johnny Zazil Murphy and Johan Blake. People. I saw somebody commenting today about Johan Blake not doing anything impressive. People forget. I don't know why our memories are so short. He ran 995 at trials, and had it not been for an inflamed heel at the World Championships, he would have probably done a lot better. So she's in a good place, and I think with the coaches that she has at her disposal, at her beck and call, and who will be working closely with her, I believe that she will make the transition. She's going to be 21 come March next year, and I think going forward from March next year into the World Championships and of course into Paris in 2024, I think we're likely to see a much faster Brianna Williams, which she would have been had she stayed with Otto, but the change of environment will probably bring it out a little bit faster because it's a new environment. She's going to have to work a lot harder. She's going to have to work intense because you know what Johan Blake workout is like. He's a beast. That's why they call him the beast. He works out relentlessly. Similarly, Akeem Blake, similarly, Jazzy Mercy. So in that camp, because with Otto, she was also training alone. So basically, she had herself, she only had to push herself at average every day. In this camp, she's going to have a young Akeem Blake who's a similar age to her, who will be working hard, who most likely will be training with. So she pushed herself to the very limits of her ability at this point in her career. And I think it will probably yield better results as well. I'll losing your okay.
Yeah, man, I was muted.
Mm.
So you think that's the right choice in terms of where she is actually going? Given
Um,
the fact that most persons were saying that MVP,
our elite,
elite,
yeah.
and so
All right.
forth.
Let me put it this way:
Mm-hmm.
for circumstances which I cannot mention here, and I cannot mention publicly, she would never have gone to MVP, and she would never have gone to elite. There are reasons why those clubs were not options for her. That's the most I can say about it. So, other than those, of course, she could have gone to John Smith as well,
Mm-hmm.
no? Because John Smith is a Nike coach. Um, HSI works very closely because HSI is our agent, and they work closely with John Smith. So it wouldn't be difficult for her to go there. But I think she wanted to be closer to Jamaica for obvious reasons. One,
Right.
instead of going to California. But there are reasons why she would not have gone to MVP or elite
Elite.
performance,
Right.
which would, I mean, not to say that she would not have flourished at those clubs. She most likely would have, but there are circumstances that are not for public consumption why she probably wouldn't consider those clubs.
What about her Nike contract in terms of, Nike are very meticulous in
Yeah.
where their athletes go in terms of training. I'm not certain if Titans is a club that has any contacts with Nike per se.
Mm.
Um, is this something that they would have sat and spoken about?
My information is that her agent and her managers were signed off on the move, which suggests to me that everything is okay. And no, shoe sponsors don't really tell you where to go. They incentivize where you could go or where you may not go. But I think based on what I'm understanding, her agent, which, as you know, works very closely with a number of Nike athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Emmanuel is he has a raft of Nike athletes on his roster, and her managers are pretty cool with the move.
Okay, fair enough.
Mm.
Many say, well, this is one of the word on the street that she would not have gone to elite because of Kemba Nelson. She would not have gone to MVP because of the twins. I know you might not be able to divulge much in terms of that question,
Mm.
but any truth to those assertions?
I will answer it this way: some of it might be true,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily in terms of the individuals who you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
but um, yeah, put it this way: some of that might be true in terms of personnel and personality.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That would have probably swayed her decision not to go to those clubs. So
Was it a spot on move in terms of time?
well, it's the best right now. It's the best option. I mean, you know, the reality is that you have in the last few years there have been a number of there are a number of championships back to back to back to back.
Mm-hmm.
There is Budapest next year, there is Paris, and then there is where 2025 is going to be the World Championships. I'm trying to remember where that is going to be.
And it's not coming to memory either.
Yeah, but is 3 consecutive years, and of course remember that there's a World Championships this year, there was the Olympics last year, and of course there was a World Championship that was supposed to be held the year before that. So there is no perfect time, but if you're gonna move, it probably would be a good time to move now because she begins training next week, um, and because she's not a newbie in terms of performing at the international level, there are some things that she has to work on. Obviously, I had a discussion with her today about one of those things. Um, and so, given that Michael Frater and Little are both experienced coaches now, of course, everybody knows Greg Little used to work with Racer Track Club. Michael Frater he was trained at MVP, and of course, he's had a couple of years' experience now at Titans International. And the it's a good time to move because the thing about it is Briana is 20, huh? So she has her entire career ahead of her. She has the Olympics in 2024, which is 2 years time, and another Olympics in 2028. She'll be what? She'll be 26. So she's still she'll be well in her prime. In fact, the next 3 Olympics she'll be in her prime. So what a good time to move is now. I mean, and the thing is, if it doesn't work out at Titans for any reason, she can always find John Smith if she thinks that that's a viable option for her because she's young enough to be able to make those changes. Because if you look at what John Smith did, for example, with Talou in a short period of time, he's made her into a really, really fast 1072 fastest African woman ever. So she has options, and because of her age, it's not like she's 30, 30, 31, 32, 30, 30 over 5. She's young enough to make decisions that will, see her change coaches from time to time if it's necessary, if it becomes necessary. Right now, though, on the surface of it, I think I think Titans is a good fit. I think they're a small enough club in terms of the number of athletes that they have on their roster that she can get the individual attention that she needs. She has the expertise there. I mean, we've seen the progress of Akeem Blake. We saw what they've managed to do with Johan Blake. We saw what they were able to do with Kamara Bailey Cole, by the way, who's going to be a new father in a few months' time.
Yes.
We've seen them literally resurrect Jazeel Murphy from the dead.
Absolutely.
So Briana going there, a young athlete with lots of talent and lots of grit and and the ability to run fast, which is never in doubt. 1094, 704 indoors. I think we will see a new Briana Williams. She's excited by the new chapter in her career, and because she's happy and because she loves Jamaica and because she's going to be here, she don't have to travel back and forth as much. For meets, for example, like the
all comers
meets that they have at the stadium, where she can get races now to practice. And because I can probably say this, because in part of the conversation that I had with her today, she was saying she could probably use a few easy races where she can work on some of the things that she needs to work on without having to worry about the big guns in the race, huh?
Right.
So I think it's a good fit. I mean, time will tell ultimately, but I think it's right now. It looks on the surface of it certainly looks like a good fit for me.
Plus, her therapist is also closer
Eddie's
to
here.
her now.
Eddie's here, so she'll have to take a flight and come here every day. Every time she have a hamstring issue, she have a flight down to see Eddie.
But the deep lookers into track and field, Sir Levy, will say there are not many coaches who would have, done a marvelous job with female athletes. And right there, Titans will come under scrutiny.
Absolutely.
What say you?
I agree. I mean, look, they've never had, I mean, in the 2 years since they became Titans, they've never had, I know literally used to work with Ristan, and I think with Kimar Bailey Cole and stuff like that, but nothing much came of that circumstance. So this is new ground for them as well. So there's a lot of uncertainty where that is concerned because they've never, I mean, little work with racers who've never had success with women.
With women, right?
Yeah. Michael, however, was at MVP that has tremendous success with female athletes. So maybe a coalescing of those two talents will allow them to be able to get some results.
Dive into the realms of female coaching because to be truth and factual, it takes a whole different level of psychology and patience
Yeah,
and all manner of things to deal with the female
yeah,
brain when
absolutely.
it comes
Yeah,
on to
yeah,
sports.
because yeah, and you rightly say because guys, women are stimulated differently um, than men are, and you know it's easier in some instances to please a male athlete in terms of whatever program that you're putting together, as opposed to a woman. Because and again, that comes down to many things. There are times of the month, and this is not something I say lightly, because even just the other day you heard Dean Asher Smith talk about it at the World
Right,
Championships.
right.
So you have the physical, the emotional, all these different factors that go into managing a female athlete who you're coaching. So it's going to be a learning process for both sides. But I do believe, based on what my understanding is, that a lot of thought went into the final decision. So we'll
Right.
see.
And one thing that persons need to understand is that it was an amicable decision
Yeah.
where both Otto and Brianna would have had conversation on the matter.
Mhm.
So it's not any bad blood or any
There is no bad
bitterness.
blood.
It's a matter of fact. He will actually be still involved in her affairs, except the intricacies of coaching.
Yeah, of course. Given that he has the man who has the blueprint. Huh? Obviously, there's going to be some consultation there with him as it relates to coaching Brianna, the things that work well for her, especially when it comes to the mesocycle and the microcycle. Those things are probably going to be discussed at length with Otto, because the thing is, and it's something that I think I've said to you before.
Mhm.
Brianna's race up to 75 is near perfect, right?
Yes,
It's the last 25 that they're the
that's it.
problems that
Top end
exist.
speed or speed endurance.
Yeah, and it's about holding our form and holding our mechanics and keeping our nerve in the because as we saw trial, she was on pace to run 10.8, and then she
Mhm.
lost the last 50 meters. Her race went to pieces. Had she managed to hold that together, she would have easily have run 10.84 or possibly faster. So it in terms of the bigger picture is not much to fix, but in terms of the finer details, there's a lot to work on. So there's going to have to be a lot of consultation, obviously, and of course, some trial and error. But the good thing, as I said, she'll have a lot of all comers meets here to test things out.
Mhm.
She'll have a lot of meets to get the kind of confidence in the mechanics that she's going to have to adapt to, and of course, a new program. She's incredibly strong already. So Little's going to have, I think Little's going to find her easy to work with in terms of any strength training that they've got, because she's at the age now where they can afford to put on that load in terms of the strength that she has. Because I don't know, a lot of people know that Brenda can have squat 400 over 400 pounds easily.
Mhm.
So in terms of that, I don't think they're going to have much problems in getting her in the gym to knock out some heavyweights and
Mhm.
and put in some good reps there. But it's just the finer details, maybe some mental issues to work on in terms of our confidence. Because last year, as much as she did pretty well last year, it wasn't the greatest year for her in terms of compared to the other years that where she had, because she missed out on an individual place in Oregon, something that she would have hoped to have made. She didn't get a chance to run in the final at the World Championships because Kimber Nelson was selected over her. So it wasn't necessarily the best year for her, but I think it's an opportunity for her to grow, and it's also an opportunity for Titans to grow as well. Because if
Mhm.
they find success with Brianna, I think
Yes.
they'll probably get to attract a few other young female athletes to come join the
Mhm.
camp as well. So it's a win-win situation, I see, and if it doesn't work out, there's always time for her to change.
Yes, certainly. You need to just tell me whenever. Just give me a cue whenever you're ready,
All
because
right, I can give
once
I
we
can
touch
give
track and feel it.
I can give a couple more minutes.
All right, cool. So the environment of being in Jamaica, knowing that this is where it all happened, will this give her some sort of comfort, some sort of psychological possibly changes where her mental will be concerned because she's in Jamaica.
All right, here's how I see it. In Florida, Brianna has the best of all worlds, huh? So a nice contract from Nike. She lives in her own house, she don't no rent to pay. You know, she has a nice Mercedes. She can go to her parties and enjoy herself as much as she wants. Jamaica's a different dynamic, huh? Where she most likely will have to lease somewhere or rent somewhere, or she's gonna have to be responsible. She's gonna have to live a lifestyle of somebody who is living on their own for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
because she's gonna have to um she's going to have to grow up very quickly, because she's doing this on her own. Because I think her
Mm-hmm.
mom is still going to be in Florida. So I mean, I'm sure Sharon is going to visit as much as possible. But I do believe that it's an opportunity for her to mature as a woman, living on her own in a country that's not her country of birth, a country that she loves. But there are certain dynamics here that don't necessarily obtain in Florida. So she's going to have to grow up, and I think it actually could actually benefit her in the sense that because she now has a responsibility on her own, she knows that everything relies on her doing the right things to be able to find the success that she craves. So I think a new environment, you're not gonna be totally comfortable at any given time, as much as she comes here very often.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to a new country to live, I mean, I've always heard about how nice St. Martin was, huh? And when
Yes.
I went there to live, it was nice, but there are things that happen in St. Martin that you have to get accustomed to, and it takes a time. So you
Yeah,
have to settle.
adjustment.
Yeah, you have to adjust. So it takes a bit of time to settle. That discomfort actually, I think, can benefit her, because it will allow her, it will cause her to be on her toes at all time, knowing that this is not home, so to speak. If something goes wrong, she won't necessarily be able to run back home and lean on her mom for emotional support the way she probably would have now. She, things are going to be different, and because of that, you know, growth comes out of discomfort when you push yourself beyond what you're comfortable with. Because comfort is a thing that can be very harmful to you. You get comfort, you lean back, you pick up your foot, you say, tomorrow I'm going to training, tomorrow I'm going to the gym. You go to the gym, you say, I don't feel like workout this evening.
Mm-hmm.
So but when you're in a new environment, new coaches, new personalities, everything around you, you have to gonna be on your toes. And I think that actually might end up benefiting her.
Yeah, man. We have some questions coming through in the comment section.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Steve Patrick, any idea where Christiana Williams
Is
is training?
training. She's training in Florida, but she will. A couple of times I asked her, she said she can't say yet because she's not certain of the how long she'll probably be at that particular training group.
Is
But
that Tumbleweed?
no, she's left Tumbleweed last year. She's not at Tumbleweed anymore. But she's training with another group. But she's not yet ready. She says to reveal where she's training.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So I asked you the question about if it was the right timing for the move. For the
Mhm.
move. Did the advent of so many of our junior athletes stepping up, running fast times, possible would have contributed to her making that move? No.
That's a question I think Brenna can best answer. What I do know, she's aware of the crop of youngsters coming up, but she's also aware that she's ahead of them. I mean, some of them have gotten closer, like Tina Clayton, 1095 has gotten
Mm-hmm.
closer to Brenna over the last 2 seasons actually. But I don't think Brenna War is much about those athletes as opposed to the ones ahead of her, because Shelly has maybe 2 years left before she decides to step aside. But there's Kemba, of course, there's Elaine, who is still young enough to continue for a few more years. Those are the people that I think she probably be focusing on, trying to catch, especially since Kemba passed her last year into getting into the 10 8s. I don't think she worries too much about the coming crew, because she's going to be a part of that coming crew, regardless of the circumstances, because they're all within the same age range.
Mm-hmm.
They're 18-year-olds, sorry, 17-year-olds, 20-year-olds. They're right within that age group. So in 2026, for example, you will most likely see Briana on a team with some of them. Yeah, the Clayton twins, maybe Brenna Liston or Kemba Nelson. They'll all be part of the same team. So that's I don't think she worries much about them. I think she's more concerned about breaking through the ceiling that she's been knocking on for the last couple of years and not being able to break through, mainly through no fault but her own. Actually, I think. I mean, I think I think if she's being honest with herself, she'll acknowledge that um, a large part of what has not happened in the last couple of years is largely down to her.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think she will acknowledge that under Coach Boldon, she has been given the tools to make that step. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I think it's more about fixing what she needs to fix with her more than worrying about anybody else.
Is there a rivalry setting up between herself and Kemba Nelson?
I doubt that. Um, I don't see where, well, at least not right now anyway, because as in terms of head to heads, Kimba's only beaten her once, which is at trials last year, and that's about it. So I don't think there's anything much that Brenna worries about in terms of rivalry with Kimba. I think, as I said before, I think Brenna is just concerned right now about fixing that last 30 meters of her race, and because she knows once she fixes it, she's going to be hard to beat by anybody. So I think that's where her focus is right now.
It's also important that she maintains that fast start that she has as well, because
Yeah, and
you don't want to chime in so much on the latter part of her race and then ignore what would have made her what she is. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and I think if you look at, for example, Michael Freitas' work with Akeem in terms of his start, you can see the progress being made there. Brennan is already a brilliant starter. I don't think she lose anything under Michael's guidance and Little's guidance in terms of her start. Um, what I think there are a couple of things that I think can improve early in her race. So transition into the acceleration phase can use a little bit of work. Her speed maintenance is obviously she can probably get some work done there. But I think overall, I think she'll be happy just to get that last 30 meters fixed and get it out of her head, and then I think everything else will fall into place.
Right, certainly.
Mm.
Do we have any other excuse me question from the comment section? Anybody? Persons are saying, Sir Levy, is that Brianna decided to make a very bold move, and it's also on Elaine right now to make that sort of a decision. Are you following that narrative?
No, listen. Well, let me repeat it again. The mere fact that Elaine changed coaches last year is, and the injury that she had with her shoulder, etc., is the primary reason why she did not, you know, carry on from the 1054 that people expected her to have last year. The bottom line is this: as a coach, that when you change coaches and change a program, more often than not, you take a backward step. It does not mean the coach is failing. It does not mean that the athlete is failing. It just means that they're adjusting to a new program and new
Adaptation
system.
because of the
Absolutely,
breaking down.
yeah, exactly. So after one season, I don't think anybody can. I don't think it's right or fair to be critical of any move to make to go to our current coaching setup. Um, so give it another year. and then we can talk about what is happening. Because the reality is, if you are not, if she's not making progress come the end of, or the middle of next season, maybe we can start saying then maybe it was not the right move to leave Stephen Francis. The fact is, however, is that even if she had stayed at MVP, there was no guarantee that she was going to continue to run as fast as she's run last year. You know, one of the things we all know, Ilian hurt her shoulder last year, and she, of course the Achilles thing is under better control, but it hasn't gone away. So there are a lot of things to have to consider and to think about her changing one coach, a coach after 1 year, after one season. I kind of makes little sense to me. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's that's not how it works. You don't go to another coach and all of a sudden you start running fast. It rarely happens where a coach will take over an athlete and then suddenly they're great. You remember? I'm trying to remember his name now. 400-meter guy from used to work with Clyde Hart, right? 43, 45.
Is that Warner?
Jeremy Warner, right? He left Clyde Hart. I went to another coach and coaching himself. What happened? He struggled, right? The thing is, changing our programs, and as you mentioned, the breaking down and then coming back up is something that will put a lot of athletes on the back foot. So let's be patient. Let's wait and see what happens at the end of next season, and then probably then we'll start to be critical of the move that she made. But after one season, no, it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of it don't make no sense.
All right. Is things getting too loaded at the elite performance track?
I don't know. It's too early to say for me because the reality is that one Shelley went there and found success, and Broadbell has now found success there. Obviously, a lot of athletes are going to want to be there. Rochelle Clayton actually had a pretty good season, notwithstanding the fact that she did medal at Worlds or the Commonwealth Games. The fact that she's ran a personal best this season and she won a number of races on the circuit, consistently running on 53, tells you that something good is going on Ronaldo Walcott.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not he has the coaching staff to take on the load that he's going to, because no Sherry young hurdler from Heidel,
Hill.
Karika Hill is there now, and a number of other young kids coming in. You know, the big question is whether or not they are going to be is going to be able to handle all of that, all of those athletes. Because as you know, you're going to have to bring in assistant coaches. You're going to have to bring in help because one coach can't deal with as many athletes
Right.
as
He's
that
gonna
circumstance.
spread thin.
You're going to spread yourself too thin. So it's too early to say, and I don't know the set. Honestly, I don't know the setup of the camp yet, so I don't know if he has assistants working with that will help him with managing the different athletes. And of course, Shelly and Fraser Price is going to require a lot of attention. She is the big dog in that camp, so you're going to be required to spend a lot more time with her than probably anybody else. So I don't know. I think in another season or two we'll be able to make that determination. But right now, I really don't know.
Okay.
Mm.
There's a question on screen. Is Otto training other athletes or Brenner was the one and only?
He was coaching a couple of other athletes. I don't think he's coaching them anymore because I think he's what he's coaching. I think are some NFL athletes with the speed work and stuff like that. So if what he's training is those athletes, there is primarily NFL players that he's coaching them. So he'd be able to know that he doesn't have Briana there anymore. He'd be able to travel a lot more to the different camps and work with them on their speed and stuff like that. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are saying about it is Otto and the NBC contract that was preventing him from helping Brianna. NBC only brings in Otto when the World Championships or the Olympics are going on. That was never the issue. Um, but I do believe that he has other things that he's working on. Now that he's free, when I say free, I mean he's not, he doesn't have
Coaching.
the responsibility
Mm-hmm.
of coaching Brian anymore. He's free to take on anything he wants to take on. But as far as coaching is concerned, I think his primary focus now will be the NFL athletes that he's working with.
All right. Michael, Ashanti is in the camp of
Lance
Shawnee
Brahman.
Miller Weibo.
Yeah,
That's
Lance Brahman. Yeah,
right, Brahman.
yeah,
So
Brahman and the Lyle brothers and who else is there?
Van Niekerk,
Van Niekerk is there, and
Shawnee Miller.
Jerry Richards from Trinidad is there as well.
Anthony McDonald, how the twins are doing. I'm not too certain about that, but
I don't know. Them just start.
can't really. All right. This is an interesting one. Sir Levy, what are your thoughts on the potential of Stacey and Williams, who is at Elite, and Cherokee Young? Also, what do you see as Kevona Davis's best event going forward? 100 meters loaded at the moment.
Station Williams and Cherokee are two talented athletes. We all know that. Based on what we've seen so far from Ronaldo Walcott, I've not seen him coach a 400-meter athlete yet, so I don't know.
Remember, he used to coach her.
Yeah, at States.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but this is a different level now. This is
Yes.
senior level. This is elite level of performances. So I was about to say that given that fact that he's worked with Stacey before, just like he used to work with Shelly before, he probably have a lot more knowledge about what she's able to do, and I think she'll probably find some progress. Both of them actually. I think Cherokee, 49 is 49, and I think he has a lot to work with both of them. So I think in realistic terms, it is not implausible to believe that he'll find success with both of them. For Kevona Davis, the one and the two for me are her best events. She's a 10th runner in 100, albeit winded, and she's run 22 low for the 200. I think once Kevona can stay healthy, and once Floria gets a chance now to work with her with the individual more detail, know that she's getting into her third year at Texas, I think we'll see a lot better. I think you'll see her dip below 22 seconds. I think we'll see her a lot stronger, and we'll see her a lot faster.
Right.
So that's my best guess as it relates to those athletes.
All right, Doctor, that's RDD is disagreeing with you on the comments you made about Elaine Thompson era. He said a season runner should not drop from elite to ordinary in one season.
What do you call ordinary? 10.79 is ordinary. 10.81 in the final of World Championships is ordinary. Really? I wouldn't even give that an answer, because the reality is that we are living in a delusional world here. Huh? Where how many athletes out there run 10.6 and 10.7s? Let me name them: Shelly, Talu, Elaine, Sharika. Right? You have some American girls who run 10 fast at home and can't run 10 fast anywhere else in the world. Right? We need to temper our realities here. 10.79 Indian has run so far. Indian was the fourth fastest in the world last year, and she was only passed at the death by Marie Jose Talu, ran 10.72 in that race with Shelly when she came third, and where Shelly ran 10.66 and Cherika ran 10.71 and Talu ran 10.72 or 10.62. I think Shelly ran that race. So 10.81 is not ordinary. Neither is 10.79. Huh? The reality is that we need to stop having these unrealistic expectations of athletes, because they're not machines, right? And 10.54 is fantastic, but let me ask you this: Usain Bolt ran 9.58 in 2009. Where did he run it again? He ran 9.6. Yeah, I better. He ran 9.63 in London in 2012. Where did he run that again? We need to temper. It makes me. I'm annoyed because we keep putting these unrealistic expectations on our athletes. They're not machines. They're not going to come, not because Elaine ran 10.54 last year. It means that she's going to come back and run 10.5 or 10.4 this year. That's not how it works. When an athlete reaches near their maximum potential, it's hardly likely for them to even go back there. 10.54 is the second fastest time of all time, right? And then she ran 10.65, 10.61 at the Olympics and 10.64. right? She's run four before Shelly did what she did this year. She had the record for most times under 10-7 in any one season.
Mm-hmm.
You- People think you can just get up and run 10-6, like I was talking to guys Savannah Park the other day, and saying, look like Shelly stuck at 10-6. I'm like, how many women have run 10-6 in their entire careers in the history of track and field?
So many 10-6.
Yeah.
And as fast as Elaine is, how many has she ran?
Elaine ran. Elaine has run four times under 10-7.
Yeah.
Right? Shelly has done it now 8 times over 2 seasons. And we are complaining that she's stuck on 10-6. It's we're having these unrealistic expectations of our athletes, which sometimes I don't understand how people think um, about how our athletes function. That they have issues like injuries, they have emotional problems, they have issues like every single one of us. And it does not mean that if somebody runs 10:54 one season, that they'll come back and run it again the next year or run faster. Right? Elaine is probably close to her maximum potential at 10:54. Right? So chances are she probably would never even get back there. So to think that this thing is linear, it is not linear, not in the least. We have short memories. Usain Bolt ran 9:69 in 2008, 9:58 in 2009. He never got anywhere close except for that 9:63 in London. He never got back anywhere close. He ran 19.19 in 2009. How many times did he get even close to that for the rest of his career? Right, he got 19:30 in London in 2012. Then he got 19.4 in 2011 in Diego, and he never broke 19.5 after that before he retired. Ordinary 10.79 and 10.81. It's absolutely ridiculous. We need to do better. We need to stop having these unrealistic expectations on our athletes because I will say it again, they are not machines. And we need to understand that because an athlete ran a particular time one season doesn't mean that they're going to be able to replicate it the next season because many things change. The body changes, injuries, emotional and mental not disabilities, but certainly challenges, improper nutrition, a change of coach, a change of environment. There's so many things that contribute to athletes' performance, and
Exactly.
we seem to think that you just get up and just run fast.
Gets upon just run.
It does not work like that. So we need to temper expectations because, and that's what puts a lot of pressure on the athletes. Because when we say these things in the public space, they go out there with all of this pressure on their shoulders, thinking, "Boy, John Public expect me to run 10-6," when it is not likely that it is going to happen. We need to do better. Anyway, I've got to go. I actually overstayed my time. I have to sort out some things there.
No problem. I just, like I said, whenever you're ready, just give the cue. Thank you very much for joining us,
Yeah,
Sir Lee.
man.
Really appreciate your stay and your expertise.
Yeah, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, man. Cool. Thanks again. All right. So there you have it. Or can I say resident analyst? Leighton Levy. All right. So question from Jordanis. People insist on wondering why teenagers aren't Olympic and gold medalists. In Jamaica, there's a distinct lack of awareness on how sprinting works. And I will be dropping a video on that, Jordan. I have the video ready. So you'll be getting information on the expectations and some of the things that cause teenagers not to actually, surpass what they do at the junior level. Yeah. Coach, Elite is not getting too loaded and Walcott is pushing all the right buttons. Yeah, man, I just asked the question based off somebody's question. Not on this forum, but somebody asked the question earlier. Is it today? Mm-hmm. Shellyan didn't have the type of start reaction at 20. All right, let me pass that. The Twins have a long way to go. I'm telling you, watch out for Hill next season. All right. Kerika on the pro circuit is not going to be much of a presence next season. She's not there yet, and our sprint hurdlers are loaded. Do you think it will take Briana a full season to adjust to the new environment in Jamaica, depending on her adaptation. Coaches, there's question from me in the chat. Coach, how the young female middle and long distance athletes future looking? Well, we have Adele, we have Ghoul, but I'm not seeing any youngster really on the rise at the moment. So let us look to see if someone will rise from out of obscurity. All right. Thank you, Jordan. Lots of armchair coaches on here. In fairness, she ran a few low 11s that surprised me. Ordinary for Elaine standards, coach's desk. All right. Brain Journey is saying that I agree, coach. Well, Talua go on with things. Respect to her. All right. Glad to hear Levy say these things. Winder, Fox, and the 963 was with 1.8 wind Jamaicans too hard on the athletes. That's true. Jamaican fans are very hard to please. And some of them, like Mr. Levy said, they are wagonists. And I really, really believe some are wagonists. Shakira and hey, Bridget, don't bother with that. That's why I said no run 10-5. All right, sir. Coach, this I don't expect her to run 10-6s, but she has run a few 10-9s and some 11 lows. That was shocking to me. Okay. Well, you see the thing about track and field, especially for athletes who don't pass through the process of the background work. If you miss out a lot of background work, trust me, it's gonna be very difficult for you to run fast times. I kid you not. All right. I don't know great running prodigies at youth and junior level tend to fizzle out. Although Briana was great, it doesn't mean she would improve that much. True. Brain drain, you on this imaginary 10-3. What about 10-4 in training? No one doing that except one at coach's desk. All right, Blake. Nor 10-6 for SJ. Well said, Leighton. Don't waste time answering some of these questions. Is this Brianna's mother? Well, Brianna's mother, big up yourself. Thanks for tuning in. Enough respect. And, of course, we wish Brianna all the best. Persons have been saying, long time she should come to Jamaica. Good to see her coming to Jamaica now. All right. So, people, we have Brianna's mom in the comment section. Shelly did it 9 times. 10-6 is crazy. They think everybody is going to do it. True. I always say people get away too caught up in times. The fans are spoiled. That is true, Dwyer. We can definitely say that. Shelly doing 10-6 so often has them thinking it's easy. Only about 5 women in history has ever gone 10-6. Mr. Levy, how can changing a program see such a dynamic drop in times in one season? RDD. It is not only changing of program, RDD. Remember, you have to factor in injuries. And if she misses out the background work, trust me, no matter how fast you be, you can't go back a certain time. This is a systematic thing in here. You can't miss out and expect say you want to get victory. No. So track and field, you have to really better than the field. Well, Plateau, I same thing, Brain Jane. Not gonna like 10-6 is very crazy. I disagree. Way too unrealistic. Both got injured. So you're not talking about Elaine injured then, Bridget, if she can't run back certain times. Remember, she got early season injury, so that, from my understanding and knowledge, it would have allowed her not to dig the foundation. And if that part of the training cycle is missing, trust me, you're in for some problems. I think in an ignorant nation like Jamaica, they weaponize the athlete's talents. Shelley prepared sub 10-7, which we will probably never see again from another athlete. They say she needs to go faster. Yup, that's someone say ask RDD. Well, him say she can't go faster still. He made his fastest times at 22 and went downhill from then. You say, Bold, no one knows how athletic career goes. Shelley has plateau at 10-6. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for telling RDD, because he seems to be leaving out that part of it. You can't leave out that part, RDD. You're talking about change of coach. Come on, man. If you're talking the track and field, you have to be aware of all the components and variables. Hate how people are making it sound like there would be a guarantee that Elaine would be in the shape of 10-5 again this year if she was still at MVP. And that's the thing. Remember, Frano did say it, Frano said, listen, when you finish the season, you have to start over. Everybody start at the same. Some might be a little bit ahead, but most times, most people start from the same. In terms of you have to go through your background cycle, specific and all sort of things. Briana achieved the world as a teenager, and they feel she should immediately do the same 1 year into her 20s as a pro. Thank you, Jordan. Listen, people, it's difficult, Remember, when you move from junior to senior, you add more load. Meaning, the weights thing turn up. You understand? And that has to be meticulously in terms of unloading. It has to be done meticulously. Sometimes if it is not done that way, then the times that you might be expecting, you're not going to see it. And it takes a lot of time for athletes to adapt, to adjust. Come on, man. Briana still run. She even runs sub 11 even last season. So give her some time, man. I would say. Coaches, this has Javon Mattis started running again. Has he hung up his spikes? I'm not certain. I've not heard of him. I think people need to stop trying to live vicariously through the athletes. Take the athletes' future failure too personal. Brazil fans expect Brazil to win every World Cup. Why should Jamaicans drop the in my opinion, y'all open Shelly Plateau at 10-6. Hey, we're not easy, Way too personal. Shelly, Elaine, Flo Joe, CJ, Marian Jones. The problem is not a lot of fans understand the mechanics and science of performance. So we just have to ignore the ignorance. Berto, that's true. No one running 10-3 in training, coach. One and only to do that this season. All right, big up Brain Drain on that super chat. Coach, where is Titans camp located? They work out at the stadium, So I can't say that they have a specific location. Jamaicans too spoiled it fast time. Goal never shows up when it matters. My friend tell me 2.5 years ago, Williams must get a new coach. Her coach is too busy. Yeah. Are you a Wagonist or are you a Jamaican? I am a big fan of Briana. Never nerve. Big up yourself. Big up Miss Briana, mother. Good evening, everyone. Joan Clark, big up yourself. So Atta, give up. Coach, my comment on not running 9-5 again was related to his car accident and injuries. But Elaine injured one, she changed coach. So what are you saying? I think once Briana adapt to the new environment, she'll be fine. Competition in Jamaica with all these youngsters will be tough. Briana will be right there in the mix. She's one of our future stars. Yes, Tuffy. Otto taught Bree how to be a great starter. I will give him that. No time All right, Daddy Gates. Veronica did made a smooth transition, coach. Mm, really? Briana will rise to the occasion again to be amongst the elites for World Championship. She wasn't fit and ready, and she always talk about her injuries. Come on, RDD. Briana and America built Jamaican athlete. Vicariously. I just hope Briana is leaving Otto on her own occur and not because of pressure from social media. No, it's not pressure from social media because I can't say some things, like what Leighton Levy said. There are some things that you can't say publicly, but it has nothing to do with that trap boss. Nothing at all to do with social media pressure. We all see Brianna coach saw an opportunity and jump on it. Serious question. Where in the world is Sachin Dennis? Sachin Dennis is at elite. He was in tip-top shape until he got injured last year. Thank you, Fireheart. Listen, this was a serious decision, This is a serious decision that was made. And it had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with social media pressure. So I don't want people going around and say that. Nothing at all. Talawa, big up yourself. What's up? People may have my Arsenal friend in the chat, Talawa TV. Big up yourself, Crystal. Well, she need to stay close to the twin turbo. Same camp would be ideal, I think. But RR, Sir Levy said there are some reasons that he couldn't divulge why she could not have gone to MVP or elite performance. So if you just join, then I'm repeating. A lot of persons going to elite. Don't be surprised if you see my name there soon shortly. You really believe that Brianna did not hear any noise from people wanting her to leave Otto's mentorship at all zero? Of course she will hear, but I'm telling you, that's not what allowed the decision to be made. That's what I'm saying in a brain drain. Don't get me wrong. Of course, she's on social media. She's hearing what is happening. But that did not propel the move. I'm getting ready for bed. All right, Talawa, big up yourself. Sleep and rest well. Brenna should not be in the same camp as the twins. Completely disagree. I believe she needs a little bit more individual attention. Coach Dex, are you a better football coach or track coach? Me don't know though. I've won some stuff with football and I've won some stuff with track and field. I don't know if the quantity will determine which one I'm better at. I don't know, to be honest. But good question, Jason. I was asked that question, interestingly, last week, Wednesday. I was asked that question last week, Wednesday. Not the one, which one I'm better at, which one I prefer. And I can't tell you in what form was I asked that question. I think both she and Otto realized that for her career to go to the next level, she probably need to get a new coach. Wandan is saying too much talent at MVP and she won't get the focus like she had when she was with Otto. Arsenal at the top of the table. This is a good move for Brianna. Seems like she needed a change to improve. Big up yourself, Rob Smith. Welcome. You're welcome, Miss Talawa. Football or soccer? I think you mean soccer. Football we're talking about, Blake, not soccer. Hopefully the one you are better at, you prefer as well. Hey, Jason, look, I can't give me like a deja vu moment, man. Deja vu moment. Mm. Rocky Hill, what's up? Double agent live, football and track, or zero. Hey, Brinjan, you ready to buy the channel? You're a mogul now. You're ready to buy the channel because CC now, CC mogulship now go on, man. You ready to buy the channel? God bless. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. God bless. I say CC broke, so you come take on it now. Um. Wait, so I know him look Wi-Fi to connect. All right, so here, Errol McNeish, big up yourself. You Harris is saying good move by Briana. I definitely believe that she will do well. She definitely will do well. I do believe so. I mean, she's gonna be in Jamaica, and I guess she would have understood the culture of Jamaica, knowing that these people. Yes, on the same one, we same one. Especially the fans, they are very critical. So I think that she'll be working very, very, very hard in order to, prove the detractors wrong and the haters. You know what I mean? Because I believe that she wants to do well. She has some very good persons in her corner. And yes, she has a very strong support system. Her mother, Otto, will still be playing a role there because the only thing that he has relinquished is the coaching aspect. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the situation. Big up yourself, Jason. Oh, football talk reaching at this. 16 Sports Labs is in hiding after that. 16 Sports Lab. You know what's that bad name that? Hey. And a CC Sports Lab at 16. Hey, Jason, you're easy, Barely legal, boss. MVP and elite ram like school bus at morning time. On the ear Rap Smith people, Adidas has the contract for Jamaicans kit next year. Yes, Fireheart. Titans is Michael Frater and them, right? Yeah, man. Michael Frater, Gregory Little, Johan Blake, the other Blake, Akeem Blake, yeah, man, and others. That's the place. Interpreter, big up yourself. Everyone wants to do well. No one wants to fail. Exactly. So I think she's going to put in, especially with the fact that she will be getting attention. You see the individual attention. You say Michael Frater and that mentorship that he presents. Trust me. I think it will go a long way. Not to say Otto did not do that, because I think he knew how to get into Brianna's head in terms of motivating her. But at the major championship, that's where I believe there was a deficiency. So with Michael Frater being able to travel along with teams and so forth, even as part of the coaching staff for the Jamaica team, then I mean the individual attention will be there. And she will get that. She craved that. And I think that is one of the great moments of this transfer. Philip Handy, big up the St. Martin people in the place. Big up yourself, Philip. Thanks for tuning in. Coach, your cheer proper, but need change the address logo to CD. Yes, RR. Yeah, man, you're right, Like how the mic have on the CD, don't? Yeah, man. Very good idea there. So we're probably gonna get rid of that stitchy instead of now logo stitch. So I don't know we're gonna work that out, but let's see. Um, she have friends and family a yard, so she will be okay. Yes, yeah, man. Interpreter saying good move. And me alone no like Puma fits. Something wrong with the one that after playing a role didn't know we doing movies. Hey Blake, come on, man. Don't be so harsh. Otto also have other obligations like NBC. I always thought he had a lot to do. True. 16 bars are cool off, man. Him a wait for us to forget. Why no one go Glenn Mills? I mean, Glenn Mills, very, very good coach, one of the pioneers. But with the number of female athletes, you remember, well, if you were on earlier RDD, you would have heard the question that I asked about not many coaches are able to do well with female athletes. Yes, and I believe that that's one of the deficiencies of Coach Glenn Mills because many, well, I wouldn't say many, a few female athletes have been at races and nothing really happened where they're concerned. So, yeah, female athletes have been there. There's one there now in Jodine Williams. She's there. So let's see how things will turn out with where she's concerned. But in truth and in fact, female athletes don't really, I would say, do well at races. Yeah, after all the formula. Yeah, man, to get into the psychology of the female, trust me. Oh, I'm interested to see what the kit looks like. Akeem Blake, my favorite Jamaican athlete namesake. All right, Blake. I haven't heard of any other ladies in that camp. No, I think Briana is the only one in this camp right now. I don't know. This might propel other females to join the camp because Briana is there, or with how the season turns out and her improvement, if it happens rapidly, then persons will definitely possibly would want to move there. And Leighton did allude to that as well. Glenn Mills trained the ladies. Only man alone got this. So it was always surprising to me that he was her coach, but was still covering races. Listen, auto train in the USA amongst pure steroid. Come on, RDD. You don't want to make that comment. You have no proof. The internet is undefeated, so him can go on with it. Mills as civil, he is good for the next 10 to 15 years. Have to respect Otto for stepping up and getting Briana through World Juniors and where she's right now. Absolutely, never nerve. Otto has done a tremendous job with Briana. All sort of records right throughout age groups. That's amazing. So we can't downplay what Otto has done for Briana. You know what I mean? The improvements that he has made. And listen, quite frankly, there has been improvement in Briana every year. Leighton Levy alluded to that as well. But at the rate that persons wanted to see it, it was not happening at that rate. Expectations of at Titans will be a time of mental strengthening, not like she needs it. She's poised to battle Elaine soon as Shelly leaves and personal attention more than the twins. So just watch out. All right, Michael. Adidas mixed with Jamaica, that explains your switch from Puma on the weekend. I said the name I got stick. Yeah, man, the name that I got stick, man. Techni desk. Technidex. Jason Guna, what's oh I see that is a cheer you're talking. Most likely greater focus in Jamaica. Yep. Some reasons why I said that people. Which wrapping of flag brain drain? Shauna Elps is not running anymore. However, she is coaching. Shauna Elps is now coaching. I don't know Rob Smith. It's not Michael Clark, it's Michael Carr. That's why when he was when the decision was made to move on, it wasn't a hard decision to make, Hugh Harris. You cannot represent Jamaica without a Jamaican passport. I don't understand. That's a very good question, Blake. Only 78 likes with 200 and odd. Where's the Sean Ellis? What's the breaking news I just got? What do you mean by that? All right, people. I'm gonna be putting a lid on it. Cap it at this moment, at this point. Yeah, man. But big up on yourself. Briana will be mainly coached by Gregor Little. Fresh God, all me forget to like the video. Like up the live. People no like the live before no leave. He decided to go back to run for USA. Hey, RDD, got your bed no man. Trackside, big up yourself. So because you have a Jamaican passport, it means that you're a Jamaican. If you're not meeting expectations, you change management. At least do this all the time. Exactly. So, people, big up on yourself. Thanks very much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Big up to Sir Levy who passed through and give us a little insight on what transpired with that situation, the breaking news. Yeah. Before you go, people, like the stream. Yeah, man, put a like on the stream before you go. And until next time.
Your style and your flavor make the city rock. They must say the season come out with a bang. Coach Minzy, best round here. Remember that.